Hello everyone, this is my Righteous Fire build in Path of Exile. There are three main parts to this build: the gear, the skill gems, and the skill tree. Let's start with gear. The most important piece would be the shield, the Rise of the Phoenix Mosaic Kite Shield. Your build is pretty much useless until you can use this, and it makes this build work. And it's the only necessary part to all the pieces. There's another shield that you can use, but this one gives more to maximum fire resistance, which is the most important stat that you need to stack for this build. Next, we'll go over skill gems. The main two that you need to use, obviously Righteous Fire, which can only be affected by the area of effect radius, and pretty much nothing else. But you also need to have Vitality, which is I'll go over that later, and then Purity for the additional maximum fire resistance. And I choose Determination for the defensiveness. But the other two that are very important for this build are a curse that makes them lose fire resistance, which will actually increase your Righteous Fire damage, and well, I chose a spell to do additional damage to make use of the 78% more spell damage. You can choose a different spell, but that doesn't matter and as much. And then this is important, you need a spell that is not fire, so it's going to be either ice or lightning, and I'll explain why that's important in the skill tree. So in the skill tree, the most important stat that you're going to get is going to be lifesteal and life. You need every single node that you can get. I also went with endurance charges because I also use Enduring Cry for more defense, but it's not as important. It's just kind of something I was trying out. You obviously need to get your resistances up to max. This is extremely important: elemental adaptation. That gives you additional maximum fire resistance. And I got some body and soul. Increased radius helps with the Righteous Fire, but one of the most important things you need to get is elemental equilibrium, because Righteous Fire does not count as a hit. So when you are attacking monsters, if you hit them with an Ice Nova or whatever ice or lightning spell you choose, they will take 50% more damage from your Righteous Fire permanently, because even though you can't use lifesteal or life on hit, obviously, with Righteous Fire, you can't, which seems like a downside, but it actually doesn't count as a hit, so you can use this to get 50% more damage. And pretty much I'm just going to show how this works in game. Another important part that I forgot to mention was potions. You need a potion that dispels fire. I actually did not know how to deactivate Righteous Fire for the longest time, and it actually was a potion with Dispels Burning. And the other potions that are important, I use an Armor Flask just in case I get attacked too hard, but also Ruby Flasks are very important because the lifesteal that you stack on your skill tree and on gear and skills and everything will work nicely with the additional maximum fire resistance, because it pushes you above 100%, and when you're above 100% you actually start healing yourself from your lifesteal, and Righteous Fire does no damage to you, so you're able to just kill anything you want. And it's a very effective build in harder areas like running dock runs. I like to use Molten Shield because it adds a nice, let's see if we can get Blast going here, see if they do enough damage. But it adds a nice bit of damage, but you have to recast Ice Nova after that because Molten Shell does count as a hit. So I also like to have Leech back as life on my Molten Shell because it heals quite a bit. For harder difficulties and, well, maps, for instance, you need to use some kind of defensive thing, like I use Molten Shield, but you can also use and focus on Enduring Cry or some other way to defend yourself. Let's see if I can get a Molten Shell boss here. And a lot of people obviously used the chest piece that gives 1,000 maximum life. And well, I wish I had that much money. I don't. So this is, I only spent 4 exalteds on this guy. Just for the shield, pretty much. Everything else I just already had. Let's see. Nope, they're not doing enough damage. Well. Let's go someplace harder. A lot of people, when I was building this, actually made fun of this guy when I was leveling him, because before you can use shield, pretty much useless, just tank, because you just stack so much health. But a lot of people do not believe that this build is viable. It's actually a very viable build. If I get that chest piece, it'll do a lot more damage, but haven't done that yet. Haven't gotten around to it. And oh, another important thing, you need to, well, you don't need to, but what I do is run all my spells off of my life, because it allows me to stack all my auras onto my mana and not have to stack mad amounts of mana regeneration to be able to spam all my skills, which is actually quite important. Forgot about that. Okay, we need to find some harder enemies. It does have a nice effect on it. Oh, killed one there. Like that. Does do quite a bit of extra damage because of the 78% more spell damage affects it. The 50% from the Ice Nova will affect it, and the 46 from Flammability you can use Elemental Weakness, I think it is, also. And if you're taking too much damage, you can use Enduring Cry, along with, well, I use Molten Shell, but that's how I mitigate the damage. And yeah, this is my build on Path of Exile, how to build a Righteous Fire guy.